Perfect. I want to welcome you guys to our call tonight. And it is Wednesday night, February 17th. And we've got some very special guest speakers with us coming to you tonight. And I love that we can learn from everybody on our team. And so our first speaker is my good friend, Jessica Weston. And Jessica lives up in New York City. And her business is absolutely booming and popping and going incredible places. And we're going to be seeing her as a new in-qualification area manager by the end of the month. And I know that because she's bringing on new people, and she's got a full calendar between now and the end of the month. And so Jessica is going to be sharing us some information about some products. And then right after her, Christy, if you'll just come on, and Christy Hurd, who is a regional vice president up in Albany, New York area, Fort Plain actually, is going to be doing some training. So you guys grab your notebook, because Christy is the one driving the white Mercedes and she knows what she's talking about. So we want to take notes and listen from her. So I'm going to mute myself, and Jessica, I will let you come on.
Can everybody hear me?
I can.
Yay! Hi! So first, I'm so honored that I got asked to do this training, so thank you very much. So I have my 5-minute timer. I've been practicing. So the 3 products we're going to talk about are our immunity support, the immunity booster, and the digestion plus. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Our immunity support is fantastic. It comes in pills. Immune support, Triple Shield Echinacea Blend, which is great. The Echinacea also offers antioxidant effects, which fight free radicals and oxidative stress. It also contains golden seal, which has berberine to help with immune support. And our astragalus root acts as an adaptogen to help support the immune system, which is so important. So this I usually take around September. So everybody has that season when they start to get sick. Their allergies start to kick in. You know, you're going to get your sinuses working, and there's that one time a year for everybody. So mine's around September. So I take it during that season, 1 to 2 tabs twice daily, and it really can help a lot so that you don't get sick that yucky time of year. The next one is the immunity booster. So I start taking this as soon as I start to feel a cold coming on, start to feel my sinuses get all tight, some of the mucus inside my chest start to build up. That's when I start taking this. So this is in a little packet. It comes in a shot. It's really delicious, especially if you keep it in the refrigerator, but I like it warm too. It doesn't matter. It tastes great. So this supports the immune system by increasing your killer T cells, which are super important, especially when you're getting sick. It also has vitamins A, C, D, and zinc to help support immune function. The superfruit juices that make it taste amazing are the pomegranate, acai, blueberry, and black currant, and those are just a couple of them. And those help to fight free radicals, which is super important. It also contains green tea, milk thistle, and holly basil, which give the antioxidant effects. And finally, this is my favorite part about it, it's got the guarana, which is our plant-based, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Our plant-based energy booster, along with the yerba mate and our ginseng. So it gives you that really gentle boost. I drink 1 shot daily. Like I said, it tastes best when it's cold, and I just drink it right down. Comes in a little pouch, kind of looks like one of those Capri Suns that your kids drink. But it's better for you. And then last, the digestion plus. So this is so super important. Digestive health is so super important. Most people don't even realize it. So when we don't take care of our GI tract, we can have those uncomfortable side effects of like gas and indigestion and diarrhea and constipation, all those horrible things that happen. So it's so important to make sure you're maintaining your microflora balance. So our probiotics are our good bacteria inside of our system that help to keep our bad bacteria in check. However, they are most effective in an ideal environment, and that ideal environment is provided by prebiotics. Prebiotics are soluble fiber that help create the ideal environment by fermenting in the GI tract and allowing the probiotics to colonize and grow, and that's how they fight against the bad bacteria that's in your GI tract or that can get inside your GI tract. Some of the things that decrease your probiotics are any harmful environmental allergies, poor diet, and any antibiotics or harmful medications can decrease those probiotics. So it's so important to make sure that we're taking this daily, the Digestion Plus, to keep those probiotics up. And the prebiotics are super important because they're the food for the probiotics, so that's what's going to help it grow. So our Digestion Plus is a 3-tier system. The first tier is the probiotics, or prebiotics, I'm sorry, to feed the probiotics and create that great environment for them to grow. The second tier is the probiotics. Those help to balance the good bacteria to fight against the bad bacteria. And then the third tier is our enzymes to help break down nutrients like protein, carbs, and fats that can be utilized by the body. So that helps with nutrient uptake. So I take 1 stick of that. You can mix it in 4 ounces of your favorite liquid, whatever liquid you want, or you can do like Legina and just stick it on your tongue and take it down. It helps to minimize gas and bloating, and you can take it once daily. I like to put it in my protein shake in the morning. Don't even taste that it's there. Even when I put it in water, it doesn't really have much of a taste. It's got a little chamomile and peppermint in it, so you can taste a little bit of that. Legina says she loves the taste of it. It's great. So, but those are my things. I think I did it in 5 minutes. I have 18 seconds left. I've been practicing. So I think that's all I've got. These are 3 of the really great things, especially around this time of year when it's supposed to be winter, especially in upstate New York. But it's not really winter. It's kind of fall, kind of spring, kind of winter, depending on the time of day. So those are 3 really great things. Thanks.
Am I up next, Legina, or are you talking? Okay. You know, I loved that part. I think one of the best things that we did at the area manager retreat was those dating the product. That was just so informative, and I learned something from each person, I have to say. Margaret Harper, I have sold a lot of hair serum since then, since hearing your training on that. So very cool. So I just want to talk a little bit about the 90-day challenge tonight. And at the end, we're going to hopefully watch a video, and I'll wait to see a nod from Legina. Good, got that all set. You know, I think most of us are pretty much immersed in the 90-day challenge right now. And I got to thinking this morning and thought, I'm going to Google this and see how many things I can find online that are in 90-day cycles, you know. And so as I'm going about my day today, different things were occurring to me. And here's what I found, things that are a 90-day cycle. So I just thought this was something Arvon did, okay? And I had never heard of this concept, really. Maybe I never just paid attention before. Oh, you work your business in a 90-day cycle, and what you're doing today, you're going to see the results of 90 days from now, okay? That was a new concept for me. I never knew that it wasn't original with Arvon. Lots of businesses review new employees in 90 days, have a 90-day performance evaluation, especially for the new employees. The Carnegie Foundation uses a 90-day cycle for high performance learning. So educators use 90-day cycles. They find to go back and evaluate in 90 days gives you a higher performance. Hospitals evaluate cost and quality in every 90 days. So these are just some things that I found just Googling, interesting things. Other things in life that are 90-day cycles. So an obvious one for most of us on this phone call, pregnancy. Got 3 90-day cycles. And I was kind of thinking about that and thinking, wow, that really can describe your Arvon business. You know, that first trimester when you're tired and sick, and the second trimester when you're kind of getting fat, but you're not quite really there yet. And then the third trimester when you're pushing to the end. Thought there was a good analogy, but that wasn't part of the training. So anyway, pregnancy is 90-day cycles. Another 90-day cycle I thought about and I have noticed when my kids were little is kids' behavior, toddler behavior tends to run in 90-day cycles. Just when you get to the point where you think you cannot stand it anymore, they're on to something else. And I usually found that it lasted about every 90 days. So this idea isn't new to Arbonne, obviously. Why should we work and evaluate and do 90-day cycles? And I was on a very interesting business website, and what they were saying is, you know, most of us, we start out and we set a year goal. But very, very quickly into that year, that goal is just lost from our view. We're very human, obviously, and it's really hard. Focus takes skill and it takes practice, and to have a goal that is a year out, you're going to forget it very easily. So what they find is 90 days gives you a structure attack plan. You're able to say, okay, so I know where I want to be in the year, and then let's break it down into 12-week cycles or 90-day cycles, so you know all the little goals between here and there. You'll feel more motivated with a 90-day cycle because the deadline is closer. And I thought, that's very, very true. So couple questions for the night. The first question is that I want you guys to jot down and just think about is what you're doing taking you closer to or farther away from your goals? So just jot that down. And if you guys have your calendar right near you that you can grab while I'm talking, just do that in a piece of paper, and you can listen. I know we can kind of multitask a little bit. If you have your calendar here, go back to November, and from there, just kind of count how many parties you booked, count how many parties you held, and how many consultants you launched. And if you don't have your calendar right now, you know, just write that down in your notes. I want you to do that. Go back to November, because that's 90 days ago. November, December, January, yeah. And count how many parties you booked, how many you actually held, how many consultants you launched. Okay. And then I want you to think about what your business looks like right now. And does it reflect the work that you did in November, in December, in January? Okay. You know, we've got a really awesome recipe, but if we don't go back and evaluate, it's not going to do us a whole lot of good. You know, if you aren't where you thought you would be in February of 2016, then you got to evaluate 90 days prior. So I just had 4 real quick points to help, and I really want to just focus on the last point. With the people that are note takers, here's the 4 points, okay? And these aren't new. Most of us have heard these trained on a lot of times. A little bit about each one. The first one is you got to determine what you want. The second is decide what you're willing to give up or reschedule to get what you want. And again, you guys, we've heard this before. The third point is associate with people who will help you get what you want. And then the fourth one that I want to focus on is have a plan that works and work the plan. So real quick, determine what you want. You know, I want to be an MVP. You guys want to be an MVP. That's great. Okay. But we need to break that down, not just into achievable steps, break it down into what it looks like in real life-changing ways for your family. MVP is just 3 letters with a dollar sign, maybe either in the front or in the back of it in our minds. But you really need to break it down to what it looks like. So, you know, having 3 separate goals or dreams is a good way to do that. The first thing would be have an immediate goal, have something that can be realized fairly quickly. And that's kind of what the 90-day challenge is for us. It's an immediate goal. It's a prize that we're going to get at the end. I personally think the QV is the most awesome prize because you get paid on it twice. So have an immediate goal. It might be paying off a bill or taking the family out to a fancy dinner. Just something that is short-term and easily reached. Then you want to have an intermediate goal. Maybe you want to quit your part-time job. Maybe you want to pay all cash for Christmas this year. You know, something a little bit bigger, maybe you've got quite a large credit card bill you want to pay off. That would be an example of an intermediate goal. And then obviously you want to have an extravagant goal, which that would be the MVP status end goal for lots of us. You know, I know some people are doing this business because they want to adopt babies. That would be an extravagant goal. It's really expensive to do. Maybe you want to pay cash for college educations for more than one child. That would be an example of an extravagant goal. So determine what you want. Don't just have 3 letters and a dollar sign. Really break it down for yourself. The second point, decide what you're willing to give up or reschedule. You know, basically this is the play now, pay later, or pay now and play later. And we've heard that saying before, but you know what I think about this point? I really think you guys, you got to stop thinking that you are doing this to your family and see the reality that is you're doing it for them. And I particularly see this with moms with young children. Oh, I can't go out and leave my baby, you know, home, and I'm doing this terrible thing to them. You're not. Okay, what you're doing is creating a legacy for them. That's something that they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the couple nights a week that you were out of the house. What they're going to remember is that their mom was a strong woman who worked with consistency and takes them on a lot of fun trips. You know, I mean, really. So decide what you're willing to give up or reschedule. They're not going to remember if you were there for every single game. You know, and it's fun to be there for those things, and you got to pick and choose. And I particularly think of Kim Ford and her training last week, and that just was an amazing training. Okay, the lady worked a full-time nursing job and 2 other part-time nursing jobs. Who does that? And went region, and I forget the number. It was short, 6 months. Legina, yeah, 6 months. Okay. Most of us need to stop whining. No, all of us need to stop whining about being busy and not having time, because we all have the same amount of time. It's just what we choose to do with it. So that's point number 2. Decide what you're willing to give up or reschedule, because you're going to have to. You're going to have to give things up, and you're going to have to reschedule. And that's just the bottom line. And number 3, associate with people who will help you get what you want. And I think Kim talked about this a little bit last week, maybe too. But one thing I've really noticed for myself in this 90-day challenge, you know, we read a lot of personal development books. We read the Eric Worre. I finished the Get Off Your Butt book, and all of those things that we do. But the thing that has been the biggest game changer for me in this challenge has been listening to the Arbonne trainings. You know, I've been listening over and over. Somebody posted the 60-second I story. What a powerful training that was. Listen to that over and over again. I've listened to different people doing Discover Arbonnes over and over again. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm walking around my house with my iPhone playing, but I'm associating with people who are where I want to be, because I'm just immersing myself in those trainings. I know Jessica, who just did the product training, she said, I know it's really, really weird and sounds crazy, but I went to bed with Emily Martin every night my first couple of months. And she would get in her bed and she's nodding her head and laughing. And listen to Emily, listen to all those videos on Emily's website over and over and over again until you start hearing yourself say the same things, and you really hear yourself say them in the same way. Do you ever open your mouth and hear Legina talking out of it? I do that a lot. So that is a really powerful thing, you guys, and I think is a game changer for me in the 90-day challenge, as I associate with those kind of people that are where I want to be. So, okay, the last point, have a plan that works and work your plan. So our success plan, our 90-day challenge sheets are amazing, guys. We have the plan. We know that it works, but those 90-day challenge sheets, the one you print out, okay, it's really simple. You just check the box when you do the activity. And that is what is going to get you walking across the stage at GTC. It's going to get you driving the keys to your Mercedes. It is taking that very simple challenge sheet and looking at it and checking the boxes day in and day out for 3 months in a row for 90 days, and then another 90 days and another 90 days. We could not have more of a cookie cutter recipe. I think it's Shelley Nelson who talks about the paper cup. You see a paper cup blowing around in a parking lot, you know, and just blown by the wind. Wherever the wind takes it is where it goes, okay? And what we need to be is not like the paper cup. We need to be like the lamppost standing in the middle of the parking lot, not moving. You need to take control of your future and of your business by focusing. And you know, focus is really the main thing. It's probably the single most important thing that you can do in your business, I think. Focus, it really is a decision. It's the skill that can be developed over time. It can be learned, and you just have to do it every single day. You know, successful people who are at the top, who have those 3 letters in the dollar sign, they struggle with the exact same things that everybody else struggles with. You know, think about the things we do in this business. We check email, we check texts, we respond to email and texts. We book parties, we call for reorders, we put in orders, we meet for coffee. You know, we all do the same things. Successful people do those things, though, even when they don't feel like doing them. Time after time, day after day. You know, and it might be stepping on some toes, but, you know, do you respond to a text right away? Do you put off putting in orders? You know, are you working a full-time job, like sitting in your car afterwards and doing a training that I know Legina does often? Will sit in her car after coming out from a party and have to do a training. Successful people do those things that are hard and the little things, and they do them right away because they have to be done. So kind of like just making that check mark on the page of the challenge sheet. There are things that need to be done. So let me see here. Looking at a couple of specific parts of the plan, I think the 2 things that I'm working on the most and that will make the most difference is number 1, personal development, and number 2, sponsoring. So, and that's just me looking at the plan and seeing, okay, where are the ways that I need to improve? Where are the ways that I think I see my team, you know, and everybody as a whole needs to really work on? For the personal development, this is the one thing that's most easily put off because no one really sees if you're doing it or not. But it really does show up at the end of 90 days. It's kind of like when you go on a diet or when you start to get healthy. The changes start from the inside out and nobody really sees those changes. In the first 30 days, maybe the first 5 pounds, nobody sees. The first 10 pounds, nobody sees. But you get to 60 or 90 days and those changes start to become visible. It's kind of like that with personal development. If you're frustrated and thinking, oh man, you know, I'm a district manager and I've been here for 3 or 4 months already. What is wrong? Why am I not getting to the next level? Well, are you doing the personal development? Are you reading? Are you growing in that way? And check that out. That's a big part of it. The second thing, the sponsoring. You know, I was listening to training today, the 60-second I story, and it was really interesting. Sponsoring is a numbers game. It's totally a numbers game. You have to ask a lot of people, and you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get yeses also. And a couple of things about that, you are going to get no's. But when you get a no, you guys, you got to evaluate. You have to sit back and evaluate and say, okay, so I got a no. Let me go over some things that I know about how to ask and see if it was anything I did or if it was just a no. You know, here's some things that I think about when I get a no. I think, okay, was I speaking confidently? Was I stuttering? Was I saying a lot of ums? Was I listening to what the person was saying? What was my body language like? What did my voice sound like? Was I questioning and kind of using words that weren't very strong? Or was I stating really the Arbonne story in a strong way? One of the things that I'm doing to help myself right now, I'm reading the GoPro book, and I'm just reading those chapters. I think it starts with skill number 2 on how to prospect, and it goes, I think, through skill number 4, and it's, like 3 chapters. And I'm just reading those over and over and over again because it takes a lot of times going in my head to really drill it in there. So if you're getting a lot of no's, evaluate what you're doing. It could be just because it really is a numbers game, or it could be something that you could get better at. And we say the definition of insanity, we've said this before, and you guys know this, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But in that 60-second training, the lady, I don't know her last name, first name is Tamlin. If you guys haven't watched that, you need to watch the 60-second I story. She said it's kind of like when you have a typo on a page and you hit print and the typo's still there, and somebody's telling you, well, just hit print again, just hit print again, just hit print again, and the typo's still there, and the typo's still there. Okay, you got to go back and fix the typo, and then you can hit print. And so if you're getting a lot of no's when you're asking people, evaluate. Get on the phone with Legina, get on the phone with me. Voxer's awesome. Voxer us, ask us if we'd like to meet for coffee. Tell us your little 60-second commercial, and let's evaluate and figure out, what it is you're doing wrong. So, it's really a business of running it by practicality. And what I mean is, we usually start out the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, we're running our business in a very practical way. We're setting our goals, we're determined, we start ourselves out. At the end of the month, we're evaluating, okay, I still need $2,000 to reach my goal. I need to do this, this, and this. But it's the middle of the month lag time. And that's where we are right now, you guys. So we can fix, if there's something wrong, there's time to fix it right now. And if you're strong, that's great. But for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, it's the middle of the month that we run our business on emotions. And this is the time of the month when, we don't stay plugged in quite so much as we did at the beginning of the month when we were all setting our goals and evaluating last month. And we don't stay plugged in quite so much as we do at the end of the month when we're trying to figure out, okay, now where are we going to end up and what can we do? The middle of the month, we need to start running on practicality as well. We need to make the difference in the middle of the month, where we tend to run by emotion. Do you get that? Is it just me who sees that? I see that in my business. I see that with myself. And that's one of those things that I try to be aware of and think, okay, I know I'm going into that time, where I really have to be on my guard. I have to be on purpose. Parties are trying to reschedule. They're trying to cancel. I'm trying to keep them on. I really try to be on my A game in the middle of the month, just like I am at the beginning, the end of the month. So another thing I just want to leave you with, and then we'll be ready for that video here, Legina. I don't know what time it is. Oh, right at 10 o'clock. Okay. how do I state this? Going back to, is what you're doing taking you closer to or farther away from your goals? What we say and what we do need to line up. And I mean this both ways, and hopefully I can get this point across. What we say and what we do need to line up. Sometimes, we say we want to have a great month and book 8 parties, and then, obviously we have some parties cancel and we get discouraged, and so we don't do, our actions don't line up with what we say. But to flip it around, and I think sometimes can even be more important, what you do and what you say need to line up. So if you're working hard to book parties, you're working hard to make sales, but you're going around and you're saying, oh, all of my parties cancel, I never have any success. Every single month is the same thing. I get so frustrated. And, these parties are going to probably cancel too. Okay, what you do and what you say need to line up, because you're going to cause it to happen because you're saying it. This is so, so powerful in every area of your life. Every area of your life. Both things have to line up. And I catch my kids all the time, and I'll watch Kitty up in the corner because she's in my screen, smile. We cover up your screen there. We say this a lot in our house. We play the piano, and there's a lot of piano practicing that goes on. And I hear this, oh, every time I get to that part, I mess up. And I will yell from another room, yes, because you have planned that every time you get to that part, you're going to mess up, and you need to stop saying that. So, it's obvious that if we say we want to get to district manager by the end of this month, then we have to have the actions behind it. But it's not so obvious. I think that we can have a full calendar and we can have everything mapped out, but we can totally undermine ourselves and lose it all just because we say, oh, well, bad things always happen to me. This isn't going to be good. I'm going to try, but it probably won't happen. So really, you guys, watch that inner voice, that chatterbox. I have that book, Legina. I haven't read it yet, but it's one of the next ones. Watch that inner voice. And I think the video I'm going to ask Legina to play right now just goes right along with it. So Kim Maxon posted this today on our Hurd region board. And I don't think it got posted on Bets Nation, but it just was powerful. I watched it 3 or 4 times. I'm going to mute my. I don't think you're unmuted, Legina. Legina.
Hang on, guys. Sorry.
Legina, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's very distorted. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay. You want to share with them what it says?
Sure, and even one better. Either you mute and I'll talk, or I'll mute and you talk.
Go ahead.
We will post this. We'll post this on the Bets Nation, and Legina can go ahead and do that right now. Listen to this video, you guys. It is really about telling yourself and really believing that you can be and do anything. I'm not going to try to really describe it all, but please, when we get off here, go right to the Bets Nation. Everybody, click on this. It's a 4-minute long little video. I shared it with my husband today. I shared it with my son. I made my kids come in and watch it. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times today. Very, very good. So that was all the training I had, Legina. I just wanted to end with that. So I will mute me and send it back to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for doing the training and for both of those, the products, Jessica, and the training for the 90-day challenge. So wherever you may be on your 90-day challenge, if you're starting today, then start today. And I had a conversation with a young couple over dinner tonight, and they're making some big changes in their life. And the husband all of a sudden got concerned, and what we do is what if and what if. And the wife very wisely said, because they do truly believe that the next steps that they are taking are steps that God has instructed them to do. And she goes, what if you wake up tomorrow and you're still here in the very exact same place, and you've got potential that God has given to you? And what if you just sit here and do nothing? Because God's equipped you with different gifts and talents, and it's this next step that we're supposed to be taking, even though it's kind of scary, that you need to be taking. And he looked at her, and as she was relaying this conversation to me, and he goes, you're so right. The scary thing is doing nothing at all. And that's the same way with this Arbonne business. The scary thing is doing nothing at all. And what if you wake up 3 years from now in the exact same place, except you've got older kids and more bills? And so jump into it, scared and all, because that's the only way that life is going to be truly different for you and for your family. So I will make this recording and post that on our Facebook page. You guys, thanks for being with us tonight. And thanks for sharing, both Christy and Jessica. Love you guys. Talk to you next week.
Bye. And don't forget to go watch the video.
Bye, Legina.
Good night. Thanks for being on.